I need to be able.
I think I have it. I need to have it.
I need to have that.
And it's way out of your reach.
Way out of your reach. You can't maintain that. You look at your vehicle. How ready is your vehicle to take up the volume of the activities that is coming on with the season?
Do you have proper tires? Do you of course?
I was just about to read into that. Are my tires appropriate for the road?
Yeah.
I should not be looking at my tires just because the wardens are on the road or just because the police may do the traffic checks and so forth. Safety must be the underlying factor that you must check your tires daily.
Yes.
I drove with my vehicle a couple of evenings ago. Nice. When I was getting back, I heard chip. And when I looked, what went in?
A nail or something is in the
was a screw.
A screw in the tire.
Pointed screw went all the way in and so forth. Good tire, just went in. And that could happen to nails and other things that can be in there, and sometime before you know it, they can reel off. There was another issue of checking to ensure that if you do a tire change or otherwise, do not take it for granted that the wheel nuts are always intact.
I had an issue that once.
Talk to me.
Where I went to have my tire changed, and somehow the attendant who didn't really tighten the screw. And driving off for a couple minutes, I find my vehicle was moving a bit funny, and I lost at least 3 out of the 5. You understand? And there was only 2 holding, which was already not even that tight. You understand? Yes. No, that was an extra cost to me. No, I have to go purchase, and they didn't want to take the responsibility for it.
Yes.
But just that they didn't tighten it. Yes. And sometimes you go to these tire shops, and conversation is a thing that causes these problems. They're talking and not making sure that whatever should have been done was done properly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we are seeing vehicle owners, drivers and users and so forth. Ladies, I know oftentimes most ladies don't know where the jack or the wheel spanner is.
Females are just drivers, most.
Well, they're going to come at us with that. So we're saying that it is something that you need to also get used to. You should understand what safety factors that you need to look at in your vehicle. The wheels, the oils, the brakes. You may hear this little screeching. I know ladies, they don't take chances. A lot of them, if they hear a little screech or something, they report it. But the reporting or the seeking about it may sometimes be too late. You must understand yourself what's going on with that vehicle that you're driving on the road. You must understand the mechanism of safety.
I agree.
What keeps it up.
It's not cutting you, but I've the option of people driving around lately with the conditions and turn all their windows up. And on the exterior, no, they may not be hearing what's happening on the exterior of the vehicles. You understand? Because most vehicles are cushioned so much on the interior that you may not hear what's going on outside.
Yes.
And you may having issues out there that you may not know about.
And it may be tinted in a particular way too, that it impedes your judgment when you're reviewing in your mirror or when you're looking through it. You may not get the right reflection because of the tint that might be on it.
A question I want to ask: who is really at risk? Who's most at risk when it comes around at this particular time of the year?
I don't think that is difficult, though. I think the level of risk varies across spectrum, but we always believe that our young people, they have a high level of risk associated because it's the time when schools go on break, when there are a lot of youngsters that would be around, when the modern gadgets of the headphones and what do you call these little pieces that hook on the ear?
Yeah, they sort of
Bluetooth pieces that get hooked on and so forth. And you really can't hear from any angle. So that creates a risk on the road, around home, etc. So these are some of the things that need to be managed. But I think the greater of the risks that exist now in my analysis happen to be on roads.
Yes.
Traffic issues, traffic accidents. The fire issues, they happen, but I don't think they happen as consistently as road traffic areas.
Yes, you will get 20 accidents most time before you hear of. And I'm just talking in the minimal sense. Yeah. We may hear of 20 accidents before we hear of one fire. You understand?
Yes.
But not that it wouldn't occur. But but doesn't mean that you need to drop your guard in terms of the safety procedures that you need to follow, just in case at your home and maintaining your surroundings.
So it is one of the things that we are advocating whenever there's a time where people will be moving around more frequently, when you will have greater volume of traffic, and you'll have more shopping and other commercial activities undertaken. It creates some level of anxiety. So motorists or drivers, they need to be more alert on roads, and they need to prepare themselves more emotionally, mentally, and otherwise to get on roads. The activities that people would involve themselves in, there has to be some level of self-control, some level of discipline as to the things that people would consume. The rest factor is also one that cannot be underscored. If you are someone who you're doing a double job, and we know a lot of people who are doing double jobs these days, because they're saying, you know what, the one job really isn't cutting it. And maybe true, because we were the least paid people in is it in the world or in the Caribbean? I know. But the factor of the stress on your mental capacity is great, and it is greater than the persons who have a single job, who goes home and they have more time to rest. The person who's on the hustle, always trying to make the extra dollar. You have to be more conscious of balancing that time and balancing your consumption levels, not just alcohol, but even what you eat has something to do with your ability to be in control of that thing that you have on the road, that is a vehicle, that can also become a weapon, and also that could become something of mass destruction.
You know, and there's a saying where the folks that need to work a bit more smarter than harder these days.
That's correct.
You understand?
So we will entertain a few callers on the issue of safety now before we go into another angle of it, if you don't mind.
Let's take a call and see what the caller will take. This caller been calling for a wee bit. Caller, good morning, you're welcome.
Hi, good morning to you. How are you doing?
Not too bad. What's your contribution? Go right ahead, please.
Okay. With the Christmas season, and I listen to programs, and it's not only fire and like house problem alone. You feel like the solid waste, and like remember that they don't work on a Christmas day. And the people on the street who is passing, when they drink the alcohol, like they came from a party or wherever they came from, that all the garbage and it is on the spread out all over the street, and this does not look too good in communities and in the neighborhoods. You know, so we have to look up on them things and them too. And the next one, no, I'm not bashing the bus drivers on them, but in this time now, like the Christmas season and whatever season, people prepare the place. But I like for some of the bus drivers on them to prepare the seat, like to handle that the bus seats in the proper way, because sometimes you cannot get a comfortable seat on the bus seat, and especially the one in the center. Sometimes when you sit on it, it's rocking, it's going outside, and that he's going down, and the springs on them, some of them, they squeezing people bottom. So I like for the driver and them to see after that, to see what they have to do before the holiday, because they are making money and they have to prepare for the customers and for other people. Now, so they have all the time now to cover up the seat. Now, all the seats on them, some of them is rough.
All right, caller, thank you so much for your contribution this morning. I think he's got a little bit beyond.
But I like that caller. his angle of the contribution is something that is something underscored.
He has gone a little bit wide, but I understand what he's saying. But
the garbage, So
caller, good morning, welcome.
Yeah, morning GT and morning to Mr. McIntyre. Earlier on, Mr. McIntyre raised an issue I was going to raise, because I raised it before in terms of our preparation for the eventuality. Yesterday, I was on a Pan-African Network a webinar, and I raised the issue about the floods in Kenya and Uganda, in East Africa generally. And what the respondents told me is that apparently when there is drought, people die. When the rain comes, people die again, because there's no preparation in terms of cushioning people. And I think we're probably going down that same road here. Because when you consider, if you have a conflict in the world that prevents things from coming here, we are not prepared in terms of feeding ourselves. That's one. The other thing about that, we are not oriented for collective activity. The safety on the road, which Mr. McIntyre alluded to, has been of grave concern for me for quite a while. But unless we get people to understand that they have a responsibility to not just to ensure that they carry the vehicle wherever it's going, but that to protect people on the road. And people think, especially the never see conceits, that they could do anything that they're in the bedroom. And I know a lot of people are terrified from using the road, especially elderly people. So we need to do something. And what Mr. McIntyre and you are discussing, DT, is very excellent. But we need to find a way that the people who need to hear that and need to practice that hear it, because most of us who are listening are probably converted or we don't even drive. We are converts, but we need to get the people who will endanger people's lives to come along. And I don't know how we're going to do that. My one approach I'm suggesting, we need to find a way of the community orientation. That people, there are a lot of good things that have been attempted, but I don't think there's much success because it is done bureaucratically or by technical people. But unless you get everybody involved, we will be spinning top in mud. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. An excellent contribution there from the caller. Excellent contribution. Because it always said preparation is always a key.
It is. Absolutely. And as we move deeper into the Christmas season, all of those safety issues and those safety factors, we need more people to come on board and reiterate them to, generate more avenues for people to have access to those kind of information. So that the whole issue can go.
So true. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Yes, good morning. Good morning to you and Mr. McIntyre. Mr. McIntyre, I heard you say, let's look at safety measures, and I'm smiling because I just can't understand how it is accepted, the weed eater problem by the road, how the police, the wardens, they are seeing that the safety guard on the weed eater that it was bought with, that was placed there for a purpose, that's removed. Okay, so if you remove it, I asked a man one time, why do you all take that out? And he said, for us to work faster. Well, then do as Trinidad. If you're going to remove it from the weed eater, have a man holding something to protect the objects, the obstacles from flying away. But it is just accepted. It is just accepted in Grenada that people could be with a weed eater by the road, flinging stones on people's car and everything, So let me hear Mr. McIntyre on that.
Come on, that's a very good point.
That's a great point.
And as she mentioned Trinidad just came to my mind immediately because I saw recently in Trinidad there was maybe about 2 guys running with eaters, and there were a whole line of people. They actually were holding up almost an entire fence.
But it was practiced one time earlier on here, and then it just fell apart. When they had someone holding up this fence for that wild individual.
Yeah, it's either a piece of tarpaulin or something of that sort. But what does that lend us back to? The whole aspect of what is called monitoring and evaluating M&Es and enforcement measures and ensuring that things happen. There is definitely, we come up with great initiatives, and I like what the lady has been saying. We generate these things, but who is really policing those things to ensure that they are enforced? We allow things to become a normal part of life, which is dangerous, which is or should be unacceptable, but we allow it to fester, we allow it to go on, and then by the time we try it, it's just like...
As I said, we allow things in Grenada to deteriorate so badly, and then we try to...
But that is something that is really soaring. I've seen my windscreen, one stone dropped on it one time, the grass that fall on your vehicle, it takes a while to come off, the little stones that fling from those weed eaters, they put small dents on your vehicle.
And there are individuals who absolutely refuse to stop.
And they throw in insults at you.
Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Go ahead with your contribution, please.
Good morning, Mr. McIntyre. I want to draw your attention to, I see they're doing some work on the tennis court in Glen. Pay attention to that corner where they could widen the road for the tourists. When that corner is difficult to get in and out, so if you could pay attention to that a little bit. I see they're fixing the tennis court before they do all the work, and the corner has to be fixed. All right, sir?
very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And certainly. So McIntyre, we drew for a break. I know the calls are coming, but we got to take care of business. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we probably can entertain our final set of callers and probably get some closing comments on the song. We come right back. Stay with us, folks. We're coming right back.
We say, yeah, GBN we say, arts and culture living, yeah. Rock the box we say, I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box we say, I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box we say, we'll be jamming here on a Thursday.
You mentioned the wing high, then you have things like man, you must come back, We have the low power there.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake. I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
Looking for that injection of vibes and energy, of course? Well, I've got just that. Hi, my name is Gary Mr. Smooth, and I'm inviting you to join me on the Hot Morning Show on Hot 98.5, 98.7 FM. Weekdays, Monday to Friday, 6 to 10 in the morning. I've got a healthy dose of your favorite and most infectious hits sampled with information, news, laughter, and all the other ingredients that go into making the hottest morning show on the radio. The Morning Heat. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit us up on WhatsApp, 435-7517. We've got topics, we've got discussions, calls, voice notes, and so much more. But I can't tell you everything. You gotta tune in. The Hot Morning Show on Hot FM 98.5, 98.7 with yours truly, Gary Mr. Smooth. Kaboom!
Who does man of the party? Tell them it's 4-7 trade. Shout it, let them know it. We represent 4-7 trade. Who's the body's passing? 4-7 trade. Them no crazy like
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, folks. It's to the point. If you see me smile, we will just have a little bit of an off-air conversation with myself and Mr. McIntyre. Mr. McIntyre, we're back. Just about 4 minutes or so left on today's program. Interesting program today in terms of, safety measures and everything else. And some of the callers have been calling with some really pretty decent points.
Those contributions are really
on point this morning. I like when the comments that have been made, of course, that are on point in terms of what we're talking about and not doesn't stray. I'm seeing someone here on Facebook making a comment. Let me see if I could get that comment out. And they say, Mr. Quenta, you mentioned that the sign that you saw in Mount Rich with the distance, the distance of for Satya's question. Do you think that some of the historical sites as Leapers Hill should be highlighted as a distance to these sites as for the visiting tourists?
Yeah, man, of course. That's a given. Yeah. I think they had it in some places before. Mm-hmm. Like those signs that they erect around country. There's a brown and white sign thing that they have. It does give distance.
I think it should have been red, but it's probably turned brown. It says 6 miles or 10 miles to that.
That's correct. That's correct. But they need to be more prominent. Yeah, they need to be more prominent.
The maintenance aspect of it, as we spoke about, that's correct. It's put up and then nobody pays attention to it.
And I don't know. I don't think it's a cost and money factor. I just think it's the planning processes in terms of how we do what we do. We just laid back too much about important issues, and we need to rise up a little bit more, be more alert, be more attentive to the national issues and the things that would affect people, especially the safety of individuals. And as we conclude today's program, we looked at general safety issues as it pertains to natural events like the weather and how we prepare ourselves before they happen. We looked at agricultural practices, health issues, dumping practices, garbage disposal, debris removal, and how it impacts safety in general. But as we look into the Christmas season, we're advising people generally that you do not take things for granted. Your inspection process of your home, it is critical for people who may want to have access. Ensure that you stay alert and you harden your facility against persons who may like to intrude and to remove your valuables or sentimental things from you. You have a vehicle that is a useful thing within a family. It is a necessity, but it can become a weapon of mass destruction. And to be able to minimize that or mitigate it, there should be a regular inspection process of the wheels, the brakes, etc. And on the heels of inspection, we would advocate through our foundation that the inspection processes by our licensing department and road safety sections that become sectionized. In other words, there should be an inspection process for people who carry public traverses, people who like the buses and other things, that their inspection process, that should change. That should be a bit more often. Twice, three times per year.
At least quarterly per year, you come and get your vehicle re-inspected.
Yes, please. We are going to advocate very strongly for that. But as we conclude, we're just saying the Christmas season is here. There'll be lots and lots of more activities that will be happening. People will be involved in consumption of all different items and things that can impede their own judgment. We ask you not to take the chance. If you think it is unsafe, you feel it's unsafe, you have doubts about it or otherwise, do not take the chance.
Take the necessary precaution that can save your lives and, of course, make you enjoy the festive season that will occur.
Absolutely.
Mr. McIntyre, as usual, I want to thank you for being on the program this morning. It's always a blessing to have you. Of course, sharing information with the wealth of knowledge that you do have, of course, is always a breath of fresh air to absorb from it, sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure, always.
All right. Hey, folks, that's how we take a wrap for today's program. Join us again next week. Most likely we may not be here next week.
I don't think I would be on.
He will not be here, but I will be here next week. But Mr. McIntyre will not be us next week. So the week after that, once the Almighty permits, health, strength, and everything else, he certainly will. Have a great day, folks. Thanks for being with us this morning. All who contributed some way or the other, thank you so much. And join us again for another edition of To The Point. Have yourself a blessed day, and goodbye.